Hey team, Patrick here. In this lesson, I'm going to show you one of the quickest ways to make a level jump in tennis, whatever your current level. And it's not what you may think in terms of forcing more winners, but actually just reducing your errors, particularly balls into the net. This is going to make you less attackable and harder to beat. So let's get into it. Like I said, from back here at the baseline, hitting the ball in the net is the worst mistake. And if you were going to miss, aim to miss long. Watch how few times the pros, when the ball's on their racket, hit the ball into the net over the course of a match, and they'd be really upset with themselves if they did. Now, if you've got a short ball and a stepping in and attacking, or maybe hitting an approach shot, that's more excusable. As a general rule, the closer you are to the net, the lower you want to hit, but the further back you are in the court, the higher you hit. So don't hit the net from back behind the baseline. Make sure you lift the ball. And it's going to be difficult to affect your opponent with speed or angles from back here anyway. And the height and depth are going to be your weapons. Most players either don't pick out this air target, this window that we want to see the ball going through, or they just aim too low. I think there's a misconception that the pros are just barely skimming the net like this. Now, it might look like they're hitting lower, the ball's going faster with a lot of topspin and dipping down very quickly, but as it crosses the net, it still has this margin for error. Now, we should be aiming about twice the height of the net, as we're not always going to hit where we aim. There's a range, and for the pros, this could be a foot or less, but for recreational players, could be a lot more. Particularly in a match where typically one unforced error in practice becomes 3 unforced errors under the pressure. The pros should be the players that could aim lower, as they have less dispersion when they miss, but it's often the other way around. They still give margin, and if they miss their spot, the ball still goes over. And recreational players aim lower, and that's where the mistakes come in, particularly the balls into the net. I like to give players a visual by putting these sticks out that they have to hit the ball over, or aiming around this barrier tape, as our body will adapt the technique to fit the task, and we'll naturally start to get the racket head more below the ball so we can swing up from low to high. We do also need some speed, some power, so the ball doesn't just sit up and we get attacked. But if we have this height and speed and the ball's going long, that's where the topspin comes in. We need to close the angle of the racket face. So now when I swing from below the ball, I'm naturally going to come over the ball rather than under the ball. Now we also get this penetration through the court after the bounce. It's a heavy ball, which is basically a combination of speed and spin. And look at the effect your ball has on your opponent. Where do they play the shot from and how do they look? As this will tell you more than just where your shot lands. Ideally, you want your ball to be rising as it crosses the baseline. Still be going up, as this will keep your opponent back and stop them being able to attack you. Of course, we need the ability to play with different spins and trajectories, like a flat drive down the line or a short angle cross court. But this will be our bread and butter shot within the rally. We also use the term mirroring in tennis if our opponent plays deep and we're back behind the baseline. We need the ability to send the same ball back. So I hope this video has helped. If it has, please leave it a like, comment down below and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on court in the next one. Cheers guys.